Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you as always for your tweets. Ali is here, Shaka is here, and Jan Aage Fjortoft. Shaka, you triggered a memory within me that I wasn't sure if I was going to share, but now I will share.
Right.
Here we go.
Now you have to.
All right.
I must have been 13. I'd transferred from St Michael's School to Mullion, playing for Mullion against Moreno Smith, who were the best team in the region. Very good. You'd always get thrashed by them. We never scored against them. Little Dan Thomas, down the wing, cuts inside, gets brought down, penalty. And within our club, if you won the penalty, you would then take said penalty.
Okay.
Now, when we were talking about, I was said that Gerard Piqué should take the penalty. Lewandowski ruined it all. What did you say, Shaq?
You can't kick a ball 12 yards.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because the goalkeeper did have to come off his line to collect. It was an absolute.
Did you have to retake said penalty for the goalkeeper moving off his line?
No, my father reminds me of that very often.
What side did you go? What side?
There wasn't even a side. It was just
straight down the middle.
Ali, you know,
10 yards.
You know when I've got my fairway wood out and I go to hit it and it just doesn't go anywhere.
So you hit it a little fat?
Very fat, very fat. Oh dear. We lost 5-0. That was that.
Oh, well, could have been 5-1.
I think I was playing through tears.
Now, when you say that you transfer from one school to the next, was this a decision based on your soccer skills?
A free transfer of sorts.
Was it a free transfer?
A free transfer
or
of sorts.
were you an expensive transfer?
I wasn't after that. What was your penalty? What was your penalty technique like, Jan?
Well, I was a great goal getter, I have to tell you that. But I was not the best penalty taker, but I scored one hat-trick in the Premier League and that was 2 penalties. And Steve Ogrozovic, the famous Coventry goalkeeper, he was, I love him, but he was so bad on those 2 penalties. Thank God for me. But I was just thinking, when you were transferred from that school to another school, was Fabrizio Romano 6 years old and said, "Here we go," when he transferred there?
I don't think Fabrizio Romano was even born. Have we got the Jan kicking the baskets clip? Just to see his technique. Is that because people may not have seen that during the show?
It's violent.
Do we have to?
It was.
Well, we're talking about Jan's technique.
It was petulant.
Should we do it later? Shall I do a question?
Here we go.
Here we go. So this is watching Eintracht Frankfurt. For some reason, they're playing a stupid game instead of watching the match.
Right.
And then Jan, there's a match on. I used to play for this team. I like this team. Oh, my goodness me.
Poor baskets.
You see that little hop after he hit the shot, after he hit the basket? Little hop of excitement.
We're waiting for you to pull up with your hamstring.
Yes.
Okay, let's get on with the questions, Dan. That's what people are here for. Question for all the panelists. Football is known as a game of emotions. Like Moreno Smith. What were your feelings like in your last match? How emotional was it? Can you recollect and tell us about some unforgettable, nostalgic moments from that day? Shaka, what was it like, your last match for FC Dallas?
I have absolutely no idea. No, so I retired, or before the end of the season, very Gerard Piqué-esque.
Was it the same sort of goodbye, farewell?
I didn't announce it. I did a little video. Maybe I should have done a little video. No, I was. I had been out for a couple of months with a back injury that I just could not shake.
Right.
And
isn't a back injury something you always told me you could just pretend because no one could really verify it as a medical?
Yes, but I had a back injury.
Right. Okay.
Yes. And I couldn't shake it. So club and I just had a discussion about it, and like it's not getting any better. And obviously in the US, free up roster space, etc. So I retired early in at some point.
So your last game, you didn't know it was going to be your last game?
No, yes, I'd been out for a couple of months. I'd been out for a couple of months, and then just like...
God, the FC Dallas fans didn't give you the send-off you deserve.
No, they were denied that opportunity.
Oh, no.
Siempre Shaka. Or whoever it is.
Oh, I love it.
Sempre Shaka.
Yeah, that's the one.
Ali, what about you? Because was it Chivas you finished that?
Yes, Chivas USA.
And you hated it there and they hated you?
I didn't like it. I don't think they liked me. I don't know if it was.
Hate is a strong word.
I don't think that it was
Hate
quite
is a strong word.
I knew I was getting closer to the end, but I could still play.
Right.
I didn't know my last game was going to be my last game. I was still in between contracts, negotiating what my next deal was going to be. And then during that time is when conversations began with ESPN,
The worldwide leader.
and the package they put together felt a little bit better than what Chivas USA was able to either put together or really put forth in terms of what the experience would be with Chivas USA. I just wasn't having fun anymore.
Do you regret not having that one moment where you could walk on and be like, this is my last game? Have the boys, have Melissa, everybody there.
Dan, I think by now you know me very well. These moments don't mean a whole lot to me.
Right, okay.
But it might mean something to your lovely wife and son.
And
I think you'd have to go to a game. I have to watch this pile of rubbish.
But you know, it's actually there's something very powerful about you making the decision of I want to walk away rather than being pushed out the door. And
Telling me.
And so when you make the decision because you feel it's best for you rather than, well, it's best for the club because this guy can't play anymore.
Right.
That's, I think, it's on your terms much more so than it is on somebody else's terms.
Jan, did you know it was going to be your last game?
Yeah, I ended up going back to Norway and play for 1 year. But I had my last game for Eintracht Frankfurt. We found out that I was 12 years abroad playing in Austria, in England and Germany. And for Eintracht Frankfurt, I had my Piqué kind of game. That was so nice. The club, the whole stadium with after the game with the Norwegian flags, and I had time to say goodbye with Bocelli and You'll Never Walk Alone. So I had a fantastic sending off from Frankfurt, and I was with my son. He was there. He loved it. Can still remember it, of course. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I did what I did on a TV show, but because the club did ever so well for me to go from there. Like I said, I went back to Norway, but it tells you how I played in Norway as I see that was my retirement from football. But it was wonderful, and it was a fine way to say goodbye to all the fans.
Oh, nice. On squads with lots of international players speaking different languages, how does it affect the locker room and team dynamics? In English, typically employed as a common language, do teams invest in language training for players who don't speak the local language, Jan?
Yeah, well, I will take one from the archive because I've told the story before, but it's fitting here. I played with Fabrizio Ravanelli. He came from Italy and he played for Middlesbrough. And he had a translator sitting next to him in every meeting. And Brian Robson, not Bobby Robson, as maybe Ravanelli thought when he came there, but it was Brian Robson, former great footballer. And we played Aston Villa away and it was a team meeting, and he said, and Robson talking about the strikers, how we wanted them to run, and then he said to Ravanelli, like you do sometimes as a coach, you said to the players, is that okay, Rav? So the translator sitting next to me doing all his Italian stuff, whatever. And then Ravanelli goes into a rant in the players meeting in Italian, of course, a rant with catastrofe, defenso catastrofe, and whatever. For 1 minute, and I start laughing. And when he was finished, the translator turned to Brian Robson and said, "Yes, it's okay." So sometimes it's going to be hard with different languages.
Oh, fantastic. Robbie Mustoe shared the story, didn't he, of when it was the FA Cup final, Middlesbrough against Chelsea. Ravanelli had gone back to Italy for international break, slagged off the whole team, said it's the worst team he's ever played for.
Yeah, he did.
And regroup ready for the cup final, and then what do I say? Score within the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, they had a fight as well at the breakfast, but he was living in the village next to me, and when he left his house that Middlesbrough made available for him, he took out everything. I mean, everything of that house. But Fabrizio Ravanelli is still a good friend of mine.
What did he take? Are we talking light bulbs, toilet seats? What did he take?
Let's put it this way, Dan. If you move to Italy and you need some light bulbs, call me, and I call Ravanelli.
Brilliant. That sounds like a Stevie move. For Shaka, any goalkeeper traits you lacked?
Well, okay. This is an open-ended question. What is it?
Gotta give this some thought, Dan.
Wait, there's more. That you'd like to borrow from other goalkeeping greats.
Oh, good question.
I don't know. I mean, well,
You could say no.
I don't think there are a lot of things I could have been better at, but I was well-rounded. Let's put it that way.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh.
I like
Wow.
it.
Let's
I
put it
like it. Oh.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yes.
Thanks,
Where's my
thanks, yeah.
Zlatan quote?
You were rounded,
The
all
first
right.
game was against Trinidad and Tobago, and of course we should win, not by 1 goal, but 3. But nothing worked for us. Their goalkeeper was having the game of his life.
Ah.
Hey.
Well-rounded.
Should have got your name right, though. You should have got your name, Shaq.
No, that's all right. I'm
Yeah.
a man of mystery, Dan.
How much research?
About a mystery. Don't even know what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, how much research was required for Zlatan to include your name there?
I know.
All he
That's
had
all
to
right.
do was just
Yeah.
say,
I'm a man of
But
mystery.
Dan,
Goalkeeper, Trinidad and Tobago.
Haven't we discussed once there was a Cristiano Ronaldo thing? He scored his first goal, and he said this goalkeeper that I can't remember his name thing. Wasn't that the
Yes,
same?
yes, that was true. Ronaldo's
Yeah, thank you,
first goal
thank
was
you.
at Old
Yes.
Trafford, wasn't it?
Sorry,
That's
Shaka.
right.
Sorry, Shaka.
Yeah. It was
Thank
the
you.
anniversary of that this week.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
This is the quote in Zlatan's autobiography talking about that goalie from Trinidad and Tobago.
That's how I prefer to be known.
There you
hey,
go.
we'll spin it forward. And when we actually met Zlatan Ibrahimovic doing MLS Media Day, Shaka was there.
Right.
And so we said, this is the goalie that
Right.
you were referring to. And Zlatan looked at, you were the guy? You?
I signed this book for him.
What did
very-
you sign?
Unlucky Z.
Who will be missed most by their country if they were to miss the World Cup? Son, Davies, Kante, or Werner? It's horrible about Davies, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, because he's such a nice guy, really easy to root for, and it's bad for Frank LeBoeuf, obviously as well. You don't know why, do you, Shaq? Well, Frank LeBoeuf.
yes, of course.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
As we do
but-
in the brackets, and he's got Canada to go through to the semi-finals. No Fonzie, surely. I think that was devastating. Affair.
That is, yeah.
When we look at the names, Son, Davies, all massive.
Yeah.
All massive. losses.
Yeah.
All big names,
It's
all
Davis.
significant players for their countries. But I think when you think about Alphonso Davies, is that he is indeed an elite player, playing for an
Yeah.
elite club team in Bayern Munich, and he can be a difference maker for Canada in the sense that if they're going to defend a lot and they're going to get out in transition, he can utilize them. They can utilize his speed.
right.
And so that's when I think would be the biggest miss, is that Canada, Alphonso Davies is really the player that they look for to make a difference on that left-hand side.
And how?
Jan, sorry, Jan,
Jan,
let me just, would
Sorry.
Werner have started for Germany?
He could have started because it depending on which system he will play with. But we know that Hansi Flick loves Timo Werner, so but him or Havertz, or we'll put Müller up front, but he will be missed because he's a vital part and he's been on fire for Leipzig after he came back from Chelsea. But just to underline what Ali said about Davies, also the mental thing that they can look to Davies, who has been there, done it for Bayern Munich in the Champions League and so on. So massive blow. Let's hope and pray that the scan tomorrow that they will have in Munich, maybe there will be a miracle and it'll be okay.
Gotta hope so, most definitely. Now, during your career, Shaka, which teammate was the ultimate bodyguard on the pitch? Someone who always stepped in to break up scuffles and other teams didn't want to mess with on the pitch. Is that someone who looked after you?
Stuart Pearce. I played Stuart Pearce at both Newcastle and West Ham.
That'll do it.
Yeah, not many people mess with Stuart Pearce.
No.
I saw Stuart Pearce try to run off a broken leg once. Seriously.
It could be.
Playing for West Ham, he breaks his leg
Right.
just before half-time.
Right.
Well, he gets injured in a challenge just before half-time, and he convinces the physio that he can run this off. So the whole team goes into the dressing room at half-time. He's out on the pitch at half-time with the physio, doing sprints, length of the pitch. Realize I'm in too much pain. I can't.
Well, yeah, it's broken.
Do a scan, his leg's broken.
Wow.
Seriously.
When you broke your leg, did you try and run it off?
No.
Wimp. That's what it is. Weak, Shaka.
I was going to meet up with the Trinidad team for the Gold Cup. I had my luggage in the car.
Oh, did you tell Desha you were going? I broke my leg on the plane.
I was supposed to go to the Gold Cup, 2000 Gold Cup. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh,
Sad.
dear.
Very
Well,
sad.
there we go. Jan, who looked after you?
I was thinking, a good question. I think at Middlesbrough we had Nigel Pearson. He
Yes.
was a tough centre half who looked after us. And I played at Sheffield United with Paul McGrath.
Oh, wow.
I will always put him in my starting 11 from all the players I played with. He was a man to rely on. So yeah, I'll put Paul McGrath in there as well.
When Mullion took me very much my bodyguard ways. Ali, Bayern have scored more goals than any team in Europe so far. 38. That's one more than the so-called best team in the world, Manchester City.
Didn't Jules say it was Napoli? Didn't Jules the junior show say Napoli scored more?
You do the power ranking, Shaq. Surely you don't need Jules to atone as to what is
No, I'm
the
just.
top team.
I was.
Who would you have as the top, who's the top team?
Huh?
You're the power ranking. Who was
Bayern was top this week.
Well, there you go then.
That wasn't the question. The question was who scored most goals. My rankings takes more than that into consideration.
Do they now?
Where were Union Berlin in your ranking?
Good question.
They dropped, what, 8th? They were 8th.
Aren't they above Bayern?
Yeah.
No, they're not, Shaq. Bayern won
Well,
today.
They were above Bayern on Thursday.
Apparently it's 41 goals, so this is all turning into normal nonsense.
See, I was listening.
Napoli's got 32. Was Lewandowski leaving made a bigger deal by the media? That's us.
Apparently.
Because they seem better without him.
Well, no, that's not quite the case.
They've
In
scored
fact,
lots of goals, Ali.
Lewandowski's absence was supposed to be fixed and addressed by the flexibility in the attack and rotation of Bayern Munich and all the players that were going to be able to take Lewandowski's positions and score the goals. When that was happening, Bayern Munich was not winning games. It has been actually Eric, Maxime, Choupo-Moting from out of nowhere who's scoring goals because, oh, by the way, he's playing as a true striker. So the 2 goals that, for example, he scored against Hertha today was from a true striker. You don't score those goals unless you have a player in that position. Choupo-Moting has done that, and to his credit, all this bunch of goals that he has scored, Bayern Munich is benefiting from it.
Jan used an interesting analogy during the show. He said having Choupo-Moting on the team in Bayern is like walking through a house and finding a striker in a locked door.
What?
Yeah, but it is. And I explain why. Because first they wanted Erling Haaland. They did and they're flirting with the whole camp to get him. And then they wanted to keep Lewandowski first. And then they were both gone. As Ali is saying, they said, we got a flexible system. We are so great without the striker. The problem with you don't have that kind of striker. And Choupo-Moting, in all due respect, is not Robert Lewandowski. And we will see that when the big games coming up in the Champions League. But Choupo-Moting, as Ali is saying, he's showing that you need a number 9. And the number 9 union, we are very happy for that because you need those kind of goals. Leroy Sané can do your fantastic goals, or Müller can do his rebounds and all his goals, but you need that number 9, and they have seen that. And the Robert Lewandowski thing, they will miss him. Just wait. If you see that over a couple of years, they need a number 9, and they will be in the market again to get another number 9. And I said they found him because they didn't talk about him, and suddenly he was there and scoring goals for fun.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.